So hi all, this is Ashish, and I'm a developer advocate from Elastic. So it is a tech meetup, so don't be so formal. It's nothing a marketing or like this. So we are a tech community, so it should be two-way, right? It should be like a discussion or like open forum kind of thing. So just have some quick question. How many of you using Elastic Stack or no Elastic Stack or Elasticsearch? Just this. Wow. And any particular use case anyone wants to tell for which purpose? Logging, observability, security. No? Yeah, please.
I would like to share my experience. Like basically, in our organization, we are using ES for basically we are developing some health engine, basically health industry search engine. So like we are using the identity features plus there are many features.
Got it.
So that's what.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I saw 20-30 people has raised. Okay. Cool. So we have a first meetup after pandemic in Gujarat. Before pandemic, we used to have a meetup. I think we've done with 2-3 meetups. So in a pandemic, everything went virtual, and again we are meeting in person. So it's a big thanks to you all who taken a time on a weekend, Saturday especially, and came here to collaborate with the Elastic community. So thanks a lot. So we have a three session today. I think the first one I'm going to present on app search, how you can build a search engine using app search. You don't want to become a pro in Elasticsearch to build some search engine. So that is my talk with the demo. And the second is going to present by the Sandeep. Sandeep is going to cover some basic and advanced topic in Elasticsearch itself. Okay. And the third is, I think, going to taken by Nitesh. So he's going to talk on deployment, like ECK Kubernetes or AWS, deploy on AWS servers. So this was a thread, today's thread, and feel free to ask anything in session, after session, whenever you want. Okay, it's networking as well. It's a discussion. It's a tech community, so don't hesitate. कुछ शर्माने वाली बात नहीं है. Language is not a barrier. We can talk in any language, but I don't know Gujarati, so yeah, Hindi and English, whatever you feel, right? So let's start with the first. I'll start with the session. So yeah, something it's not a challenge kind of thing, but if you think you learned something today, please share on social media. It will be good, so that others can also learn something, at least the key points, not a very lengthy something, but the key points you can share definitely. We have a something quiz competition today. It's not a competition, but I have put this link on a meetup group as well. So at the end of the all session, we are going to have some quiz, and where we have some swags who is going to win. So yeah, if you interested, please participate in the quiz. Okay, cool. So anyone know what is the app search? App search. Okay. Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch. Anyone heard? Yeah. Okay. Any more guesses?
Yes, so we use in our we have a project where we do cognitive search, APIs for this, where we use the BM5 algorithms to drill down some matching passages.
Scorings and
yes.
all this. Nice. Anyone else? Elasticsearch? Or any other stack, Kibana, Beats, Logstash, kind of thing? Okay, we will quickly go through the all overview. We will not go in depth, but yeah, I will give you the overview of what is Elasticsearch, how it works, what the other stack is present over there. So okay, so agenda, we will quickly see the Elastic stack, Elasticsearch, Kibana, Beats, Logstash. After that, we have build some Elastic solution as well by using these stacks. Okay, so where you don't need to worry about what kind of API I should use in Elasticsearch. So if you are don't know the Elasticsearch, still you can build your search engine. You can start with the observability like this. uh yeah, I have some demo on app search, so where I have some dummy data, and I'm going to quickly create on something search engine which you can create, I think, which you told us how, like, you are doing for health management, correct? So yeah, I think this is something we generating data on every each and every touch. Still, some people are scrolling mobile, so they are generating data, correct? And there is a stats like by 2025, we are going to generate 480 exabyte data daily basis, correct? And if I say just search something from that massive data, it's a more challenging, correct? And even if I say the search for a relevant data, correct? It's not like a search anything, but it is like a search relevant data, which is more important, which is again going to have a challenge. So here, where is the Elastic came in a picture, and Elasticsearch gives better search technology, where you can solve any kind of search use case by using Elasticsearch, correct? So some of the example I'll give you, but why search? Like, search is everywhere, right? Even if you want to book something on a Swiggy, you want to book some food on Zomato, you want to search something, even to find something in a log, we use Grab and something, like, the basic is a search. So that's why Elasticsearch is there, and one of the best example is Uber. Uh, okay, just settle down. Let them settle. So how many of you from Smart Sense? Wow. So I think we should have separate Smart Sense and Elastic community, and we should run separately. It's a great, guys. Okay. So yeah, everyone is settled. Okay. And his audio is clear, right? Okay. So the best example is Uber. If whenever you like book a cab, and it shows the cab available nearby that particular location, it is powered by the Elasticsearch, right? And how many of you using this? Okay, proudly, it's powered by Elasticsearch. The relevance, right, left swipe, and mail, age, surrounding. Okay, it's powered by Elasticsearch, the Tinder. And whenever you search, it's not a Swiggy, okay, but whenever you see such a search bar, right, whether it's a mobile app, web app, or like this, there is a very heavy chance it's powered by Elasticsearch, apart from Google, of course. But yeah, you can take any search, and yeah, there is a very heavy chance it's powered by Elasticsearch. Uh, but why? Like, it's Elasticsearch provides a massive, full text search. Anyone is what is a full text searching? Okay. I think everybody know how likes works in a MySQL like query, correct? That is a full text search. Okay, I can search anything, and that particular document and particular record should come up, correct? But again, all data is not built for full text search or a full text query. So Elasticsearch has built for that particular use case. Every technology has their use cases, so that Elasticsearch has the heavy write and search specification like this. So yeah, even if you see something kind of search bar, it's powered by like a Wikipedia. Whenever you search something, it's powered by Elasticsearch. So they are using heavily whenever you just type, and the suggestion you getting and everything, it's powered by Elasticsearch. So these are the some of the example how industry are using Elasticsearch, like eBay is using for a logs purpose. Okay. uh, dream 11 Dream 11 पे team बना दो. They are using also Elasticsearch for logging purpose. So yeah, it's a pretty famous and good Elastic stack. So please, you can go through it. So what Elastic stack is being? So there is a 4 stacks majorly, and of course other is there, but the major is like Elasticsearch, Kibana, integration. In integration part, you can say a Beats, Logstash, and other integration, Elastic Agent. It's a very massive stack, but yeah, everything. The major is the Elasticsearch, Kibana, and the other integration parts. So I'll quickly go through the each and every stack. So Elasticsearch is a distributed search engine and a data store. Some people are using as a data store as well. So if you have a just a use case where you have to just save the data, and you have to perform some aggregation or like this query, Elasticsearch is there, people are using. It gives a high availability and high performance. How? Because it gives you the horizontal scalability. Anybody, what is the horizontal scalable? The horizontal scalability, like as your data grow, you just keep adding the server, right? So today is my data is 1 TB, and after 1 month it's going to be a 2 terabytes. Just keep adding the server, and the Elasticsearch automatically scale horizontally. That is called. Okay, you don't need to scale your RAM, CPU, or hardware. You don't need to play on that, but you can just simply keep adding the server. Uh, it's a JSON based document. JSON based, like it's insert the data in a JSON format. It's called a document. Of course, it's a no SQL. There is a no table row structure, but yeah, there is a indexes and shards. So I'll just quickly show if possible. And to the make a query like create, read, update, delete, or perform aggregation, whatever type of query you want to make, there is a REST API present, which exposed by Elasticsearch. You can just uh, leverage that query, and you can just access your data. Correct. So, any question till now, please ask. You can ask in between anytime, right? Kibana is a visualization tool. So whatever data is presented on Elasticsearch, you can visualize from the Kibana. From the Kibana, you can build a different kind of dashboard as well. So you can build a graph, you can charts, pie charts, bar graph, whatever you want. There is a good support for a mapping. People are using for a geolocation mapping as well. So suppose we have a Nginx we have an Nginx module for a beats. If you want to let's say if you want to monitor any web server like Apache server or Nginx or like this, you just add a beats and connect with the Elasticsearch and Kibana. It will start collecting the data, and you can see the all monitoring dashboard on the Kibana itself. It's just a plug and play. So yeah, I'll go through that beats wala part. After that, it gives the pre-configuration dashboard. So if you want to monitor MySQL, just it's a plug and play. If you want to monitor some Redis or Kafka or MongoDB, just enable that particular module, and it will start collecting those data, and you can able to monitor on a Kibana dashboard only. So you don't need to make something from scratch if you want to get started with Elastic Stack. For a developer, there is a console provided, like you do in the MySQL console. You perform the query on a CLI base. Same, it's provided in a Kibana where you can perform some queries. So okay, so Elasticsearch, Kibana, right? Now it comes to Beats. Beats is a something. There is a different beats available for different purpose. So if you want to monitor your system or your server, you just integrate system beats, okay, which is a metric beat. So metric beat will start collecting the data like how your RAM utilization, CPU, hardware, whatever, like, and it's start collecting the data and pushing to the Elasticsearch, and you can monitor that all particular data from the Kibana. So it's just again plug and play. You want to monitor your network, just use the packet beat. You have to install packet beat on your system, that particular from where you have to collect the data, and it will start collecting the network data and it will push to the Elasticsearch, and you can have a very good dashboard on a Kibana. So there is a different beats available for a different purpose. Okay, you before like you have some requirement. So I would recommend just go to the doc. There is a, I mean, almost all cases are covered in the beats we have present. So Logstash, anyone know Logstash is using Logstash? Okay, so Logstash is the thing, but it's something ETL process. So let's suppose you want to read from one source, MySQL, and you have to perform some data transformation in between, and then you have to push to Elasticsearch. So here Logstash comes in the picture. You can do the all ETL kind of operations in a Logstash. Okay, so like you have some kind of the use cases. So first, search for is there any ready-made plugin is available or not, because we have a very good plugin support from the community. So like you want to perform a data transformation from file, you want to read from file, you want to read from other sources like Redis, MySQL, like these different stacks. So already there is a plugin available, just plug and play and it will do the needful for you. Correct, you don't need to write something from the scratch. uh, okay, so here is some Elasticsearch platform so here Elasticsearch platform is give the solution. So the solution is enterprise search, observability, and security. These three solution we have built it over the top of that stack: Elasticsearch, Kibana, Beats, like this. On the top of that stack, we have built this solution. Okay, so enterprise search is provide like app search. Let's say we have an app search. I'm going to show you demo how you can quickly create a search engine, correct, and how you can leverage those. Similarly, there is observability. If you want to if you want to observe something, monitor something, like as I told you, like you want to monitor database, you want to monitor your scripts, how much time is taking, load time and everything. You can use APM for that. So there is a lots of options available. So I'll just quickly create a one instance and I'll let you know. So I'm going on cloud.elastic.co. This is a 14-day trial is available. You guys can check or you can try. I'm just logging in. So Elasticsearch, Kibana, these all stacks are also available free, right? It's open and free tool, correct? You can just download like other technology, like a MySQL or something. You can just download and start in your local host. Okay, it's there. But we have a cloud solution as well. So I'm going to show you the demo on a cloud, but you can same achieve on your local host as well. Okay, so I would highly recommend after this meetup or whenever you get time, you just install the Elasticsearch on your local and just take a look and feel how it works, how it stores the data, and how you can achieve those searches, right? Okay, so here I already, okay, let me create a deployment quickly. And I can give Meetup. Here you can choose your cloud provider and everything. So I keep it as a default. I'm going to create a deployment. It's going to take a bit of time. So anyone has any question till now? No question.
So in the Elasticsearch, there is two versions. One is community version. In cloud, there must be correct.
Yeah. So we have a license for that. Different licenses having a different kind of feature availability. So you can elastic.co/pricing. You will get the all details, which is there or not. So yeah.
One question related to
Yes.
So basically, bits as per what like bits basically collecting data from multiple sources and then it transported to Elasticsearch even.
Correct.
But in case of Logstash, like where you are collect Logstash is basically perform some operations. Whatever
Yes.
input given,
Yes.
whatever output given. So I think this both will run in simultaneously. Like Logstash is not collecting data from anywhere. It is just kind of performing the pipeline operation.
Yeah, it's a pipeline. It's but you can define the source definitely. So in a source you have defined read from file, suppose. So like as soon as your log will gets writes to the file, it will pick those lines and it will do the transformation as per your rule which you have defined here, and it will pass it to the output, whatever output you have given. It might be Elasticsearch, it might be MySQL or like this. So this is the main this like input is different, output is different, and you can do the data transformation with the Logstash.
And when you say like plugins in the Logstash, it's like such kind of like for example, Apache Common Template logs. For that, like predefined plugins, because that's why
Yes.
you don't need to write
Correct.
rules.
You don't need to write a rule.
And if I
Correct.
need to write custom, that option is
Yes, that option is there. You can do grok and processor, everything. You can write.
basically what I'm not getting is like then what's the use of beats? If
Huh.
ES is also taking it that
Correct.
Logstash is
So we have built beats for already lots of use case. Pre-built beats are available. Okay, so if I'm telling you just monitor the packets or network from your system, it's very hard to achieve with the Logstash. Correct, because you have to something write to the parser which going to collect the network data and then going to the parser. So beats you just go. It's a lightweight binary file. Just spin it, and you don't need to give any input. It will start automatically collecting the all network traffic, and just assign the Elasticsearch endpoint where it has to push, and it will start pushing it. So it's a just plug and play game. But whereas Logstash, you cannot do this. So beats we have developed with the experience, like how what people need actually. So we have a different beat like heartbeat, packet beat, metric beat. So if you want to monitor any kind of metrics were involved, like average time for query in a MySQL and like this. So you can use the metric bit as well. So we have in metric bit we have a module support where you take any technology like Kafka, MySQL, Mongo, whatever you want to monitor. You just enable that particular module and it will start monitoring it. What is the latency, query, and all of this. So yeah, this is something major difference in the beats. So there is a high availability of beats are going to cover your most of the use cases. But yes, in case of something which is not covered, you can go with the Logstash and you can do the input. So Logstash is something independent tool, you can say. The development of Logstash and the Elastic Stack is a different way. So like whenever we release something Elasticsearch, suppose 8.3.3. So it's a mandatory. You have to use the particular stack 8.3.3 version only. Otherwise, but it's not applicable for a Logstash. Logstash have their own development cycle and change. So it's developed independently and mostly supported by community. And these come mostly in Elastic, though this is a part of Elastic Stack. But yeah, people are using the different use cases. Yes, sir.
Can you elaborate more on packets? Like you said, there could be different kind of beats. So for every beat, the packet could be a different thing, right? The data inside that packet could be different. So
Right.
is that so, or packet is one network thing?
So packet beat we have just given the name. It's going to monitor your all traffic, TCP, IO, and these all stuff. What is the inbound traffic, outbound traffic, everything, and you can just monitor each and everything on a single dashboard. So just let me show you. Okay. So file beat, metric beat, packet is especially built for a network. File beat, if you want to read something from a file, you have a large log file you are writing continuously, and you want to push to the Elasticsearch. Just integrate the file beat with your system, and just show the endpoint like a file path from which file it has to read a particular logs, and it start pushing to the Elasticsearch. And there will be wonderful dashboard present. I think yeah, something dash. You will get a dashboard. I cannot show demo right now because I have built some other demo for you. Okay, the deployment is complete. Anyone else having a question? Please let me know. Yes, sir.
Now, in Elasticsearch, there are various use cases for the search itself.
Okay.
If I want to use it for search within the paragraphs, the passages, can you suggest some basic or standard things that how to get the best output of this Elasticsearch, that the best results can come? What are the parameters? What do you suggest that this is how you should store, this is how you should query?
Okay. So it's depend. If we can take a case, let's suppose you want to build a search engine around your blogging site. So blogging site have a title, description, and the whole graph. So in that case, you have to first simply insert your everything, all data in Elasticsearch, and then you have to think what kind of search you want to achieve. Let's say I want to, if let's say a user can come and I want to give you very freedom, like he can search globally anything. So I can going to apply such an analyzer over that particular index where my data is going to store. Okay, so I can go. I'm going to apply standard analyzer, and standard analyzer we have a different kind of normalizer where your data is going to divide in a part. So I'll give you the fundamental of how Elasticsearch is store the data. So I have given the string Gujarat Meetup 2022, right? And I have told Elasticsearch to store this. So Elasticsearch is going to break all the your string with the word, okay, with the separated. If there is a comma separated document, you can tell Elasticsearch, this is my CSV, and just separate the create a token like comma separated like this. So Elasticsearch going to break a Gujarat Meetup and 2022. This three token is going to create, right? It's going to create, and once your user come and is going to search for 2022, it's going to the search on an index and it will give you the output. So it's a fast. It's going to index each and every token, each and every terms, right? So that's how it works. So in your case, if want to assign a block, right? So you have to decide whether you want to give a search on your whole block, whole content. If yes, then Elasticsearch is going to break all your block into small terms, each and every words. So there will be it will be efficient, but again, it's going to create a more terms, more tokens. So your data storage will be, it increase. So you have to define your search first. I would suggest. So anyone who want to use Elasticsearch for search, I would suggest. First, describe your search use case. What kind of search query your user going to perform? Whether it's going to full text, kind of light query, whether it's going to prefix search, like in a Google we typing, okay, and as we type we used to get a result. Whether you want to implement that, so there is a different approaches present, which called search as you type in Elasticsearch. You can implement that. So take down your use case and check whether how we can implement Elasticsearch. So we have a different lots of use cases the people are using. Like there is a site in Karnataka government which is in a Kannada language, and they are using Elasticsearch. They are using a language analyzer. So if you want to build something on the top of Hindi content, there is a language analyzer available. So you can search. It will give you the flexibility to search on a particular language, and it will give you the result. That of course it's a fast, because it's going to store the data that in the particular manner only. The way you are going to apply analyzer, tokenizer, normalizer, there is a lots of part you have to take care of, right? Cool. Yes, sir.
So is it possible that I store the entire documents data
Mm.
in English language?
Mm.
My documents are in English. But still, I would like to query the documents in German language. Okay. And Elasticsearch can give me the results.
No, you have to use German analyzer, language analyzer.
Okay.
So with that, if some German user came on your website and he's going to enter a German word or something, then Elasticsearch will find in a particular way and it will give you the result.
So this analyzer comes with Elasticsearch.
Yes, Elasticsearch only. So Elasticsearch you can read about the language analyzer. It is better.
I think if I get you right, content is in English.
Hmm.
So I created passage in English,
Right.
and user search with the German keyword.
Yes.
Translate.
No, it won't translate because let's say take an example. There is an English content and I am giving the Hindi input. It won't find anything, correct? Because Elasticsearch has not created that particular term in that particular language. So if I have a something Hindi content and I have told Elasticsearch this is on this field apply Hindi analyzer, so Elasticsearch is going to create that particular terms and tokens in a Hindi word only. So whenever I'm going to search like something Ashish or something, so that input I have to do in Hindi only, and Elasticsearch will search in the particular manner on that particular language. So you have to decide how you want to get to your user like this. Anyone else from here? Okay. Yes, sir. Sorry. Encrypt do. Like you are saying amplify hash or something. No, it's not recommended because see it works on the string, right? The data you are going to save in an Elasticsearch is nothing but the sentence, words, letter only. So if you are going to encrypt that particular string, it's not making any sense. Correct. Even you don't have a use case to search on that encrypted data, correct? We have such use case. I mean, yeah. Yeah. Yes. I think everything is audible. Office की है तो चाहे okay. I'll repeat the question. Yeah, please.
Okay, so one of my projects it required the data to be stored in encrypted manner. We were using AES
Okay.
and we need to store the data in encrypted manner because we have to follow HIPAA. So we faced the challenge with MySQL because we cannot search with encrypted data.
Right.
But the Elastic
But how you going to search? I mean, encryption. Let's say.
so that is
So it's a two-way encryption. AES you are using.
AES isn't a hash, right? You can.
It's a two-way encryption, right? But the problem is, I have there is a string. I have encrypted that particular string, and it gives you something random.
every
something.
time it gets
Yes.
different.
And you have stored it. But if I want to search something in the Elasticsearch, it should present in the same manner only. Correct? If I'm giving the string ASH, ISH, the Elasticsearch should have that particular token ASH, ISH only, not a hash of Ashish string.
So, I mean, that I understand that directly we cannot search,
No.
but in, like, as a middleware or something that we can do something, we can also decrypt the data and
But let's say you have some data in encryption and you want to perform user given some query. Like you go and search like this, Ashish exists. I don't know why my name is coming exactly. So you guys notice. So user given the name Ashish. So how are you going to convert in the middleware as well? I mean, it's you're going to again encrypt it by using AES, and then you are going to search on your database, right? Yeah. So this is you can achieve with another database as well, right? If you want to work with the middleware. So why you go for Elasticsearch? Because Elasticsearch is basically for search, and it won't work. It's not recommended to work on encrypted data. Right? Because
just use this, we didn't
Yeah,
have
yeah,
Elastic
perfect,
at that time, but if Elastic provides such facility, so we can consider
search is something massive. In-depth search, full text search. Elasticsearch is best, but for the full text search also, you have to provide that string in a proper language, string and word like this. So in a Wikipedia, let's suppose if they're going to hash all their document, so that search won't work. Like I'm going to search something Maharashtra, India, how they are going to match that? I think it's not possible. So yeah, so you have to give everything written in plain text to the community. Don't store anything transitional data in Elasticsearch. It's not recommended. There is a transitional database available. Use that MySQL code. Okay. But yes, if you want to build something around the search, go for Elasticsearch. Search is like logging anything. In-depth search. Yes.
Let's say I'm building a search engine and I want to implement phonetic search. So if I'm typing PHO and instead of that I'm typing F4, can it work?
Fuzzy search. There is a fuzzy search feature in Elasticsearch. You can check. It will.
Yeah, just one thing on the language based question.
Yeah.
So if we're doing a full text search, and this is it's relatively light, you're not doing anything complex except searching for the body, then the languages thing should only be an issue if the character set is different, right? So just for a specific example for English and German, you could still possibly get away with a fuzzy search.
Yes. Fuzzy stuff, of course, but it won't be accuracy level won't be.
That is, I suppose it's understood if you have text in English and you're searching in German or vice versa. But it shouldn't be an issue as long as it's the same character set, right?
No. But like in the comparison of English and Hindi, definitely it's a character set. But yeah, something French or this kind Latin is.
And on that, is there like so I raised my hand when you asked if we work in Elastic, but I work with a system that uses Elastic. I don't work on the Elastic part. So that's why I didn't raise my hand after. So the question is there some way, some sort of tooling that we can develop that can, maybe convert between two scripts? Which it should be feasible, right? It's not a very
Two script
like if I'm like that question. If you have English text and you're searching with Hindi,
we can develop, but again, this is something. I mean,
it doesn't exist, right?
Yeah.
That is sort of what I would
Right. And this is not a. I mean, first time I'm listening this use case because usually people use that particular language and then they get stuck. So, but yeah, we can.
Yeah, in terms of just a full text search and not something semantic, then maybe the language analyzer wouldn't play as much of a role.
Right.
So it's just an assumption on my part. I wanted to ask if I'm not in the wrong direction.
No, you are perfect. If your your first job, if the language is something similar, or this is simple Hindi Marathi, the character is same, right? It will work. Accuracy level can something be graded. That's why it's not recommended kind of thing. But yeah, definitely it will work. Okay. So I will quickly give some demo. We have a 2-session more. Just okay. So I'm going to make some quick search engine by using app search. Okay. If you don't know Elasticsearch, it's okay. I'm going to tell you how. So this is a Kibana dashboard, right? When you're going to install Kibana on your local with Elasticsearch, it's going to show you something like this. And these all options are available with the Elastic stacks. Okay. So analytics majorly part of Kibana, machine learning, maps, it gives all types of support. Sure. Okay. And there's a search available, app search, workplace search. So in app search, we are going to see this in very depth. Right now, I'm going to show you demo on app search. There is a workplace search. So suppose as an organization, you are working different platform like Jira, G Drive, and ticketing system. So workplace search is something which is going to search across your workplaces platform. And suppose you want to search something ticket number, it's going to search on G Drive, Wiki, Jira, everything you can just integrate, and it will be central search for your organization. Similarly, observability, something you want to monitoring, just go in observability. You can get started with here. There is a metric, logs. You want to monitor your logs, everything. APM, anyone know APM? Application Performance Monitoring. Anyone using or no any idea? Okay. So let's suppose I have a 3 server distributed my infra, and 3 server has their one service is running on the particular 3 server, and my event is comes on server A, and then it passes to the B, and then it passes to the C, and I want to monitor that particular journey of that particular event, where you can use that APM, right? Application Performance Monitoring. It's a free, okay. Some of the feature is paid, but for a getting start, most of the organization using free, it's give you very good insights, like how your event come, where it took a lot of time. So if you even you are DevOps and you want to debug something, why my event is getting late, and it will give you the drill down in which segment is going to it's taking time, in which particular query, in which particular network latency kind of thing. So you will get a very good monitoring dashboard over there, and you can integrate APM with your code, and you can just get started. So uptime, you have a APIs endpoints and other endpoint, and you want to add a monitoring for your that particular URL. Just use uptime, add your URL in particular uptime, and it will going to ping in a specific interval. And if it's down, it will you can just integrate the alerts, and it will give you the alerts as well. These all are free, so feel free to download it and use it. Okay. There is a security. Okay, security is something malware detection, ransomware detection. Of course, it's a paid, but if an organization are using right now, and it's going wonderful. So if you want to use, you can try. And these are some of the management you can explore yourself, how to create a data views and indexes, and these kind of stuff is there. So I'm quickly going to the app search. Okay. So in an app search, I have here I have some data, which is yeah, I'll just I'll open it by only. Okay, this is something movie data is there, JSON. Okay, nothing 6070 is record will be there. I'm going to quickly create the search engine on this data. So if you have something, you have some data and you want to quickly create some search engine over there, please you can follow this. So I'm going to simply copy this and create an engine. First, after the going enterprise search, in enterprise search, go to the app search and create a engine. I'm giving search engine. So these are the method to get a data. So there is a 3 types of method. Use the crawler. You just give the endpoint of any URL you want to crawl. Okay. Don't crawl something website like a Google and anything. It will get full, and your IP also get blocked. But it is your endpoint, right? So you can just add, just go to this option and add your URL. That particular there is a crawler who is going to that particular website and fetch all data and going to store in that particular search engine. So your search engine will be ready. So this is one of the method. I am going to quickly copy and paste the JSON which I have shown you. Cool. So there is a 78 document. Document here is nothing but the record. Correct. On that particular document, I'll just give you the feel. What kind of the schema is there? Summary, year of release, title, movie title, wiki link, these and that, like this. Okay, and web crawler, which I already told you. Okay, so let's explore your data here. So this is, if you go here, this is your data. You can check. Just visible. This is the data you can see, okay, which you have imported and which is present in your search engine. After that, let's quickly go to the schema. Anyone is here a React developer? React front end? Nice. I have something for you. I'll just let you know. So here you can just relevance tuning. I'm going to tell you how it's going to work with the demo, but just a minute. So it will if you want to create some search experience around the React, correct? So just add a title. If you want, just like want to add a title act or movie name, let's say where is original title. I'm going to add filter option. If you want to add some filter option, let's say actors, or maybe I don't know, ratings, kind of this. On which field you want to add a sort. So I'm going to have a years of release, maybe. Yeah. So this is a wiki link. This is my data only, the field which it's showing in this suggestion. And the thumbnail option, I can just give poster path and generate a search experience. So my search engine is ready, correct? You can just add anything. You can search, let's say Kalam, and this it will automatically give you the suggestion. It will give you the search result, and here you can just take add the filter. Singham is 6.7 rating. So this is how your search experience is ready, correct? And for the React, you can directly download this. This is as a zip package, and this zip package containing all your React packages. So the this panel you are seeing here right now, the page, it will automatically embedded with your React. It's nothing but the React project only. Just let me show you the. Okay, sorry, I unzip here. So this is a SRC, and this is a React project structure only, and your dashboard will be ready for search engine, like you can see here, and yeah. So you don't need to build your search explicitly. So everything is done from with this React package. So what about the others? The other stack, especially the backend developer who are building something and who want to use this app search data. You want to achieve this exact field. So how you can do so? App search gives some set of API where you the search API, add record API, something like this. So if you want to add some data in the particular search engine, just use the add data. You want to search something, just use the search API. There is a click API, there is an API, some different reserved set of APIs available for app search, correct? And this app search is built on Elasticsearch only. But if you don't know Elasticsearch, it's okay. You can still get start with the app search because it's a black box. It's taking care of everything, the suggestion, the everything. So I have a build one demo. Okay, in demo, what I'm going to give, there is some layout, listing of the all movies, and I'm going to search. So the API I have written in a Python, and in a Python, my Python going to call the app search APIs only. So I'm going to, okay, I'm just closing this. I'm going here. I'm taking my credential. This is I have like build it configuration. You can build according to. So I'm just copying this. Okay, and the engine name which we have built, which is what the name? Okay, yeah, this I need to copy. And the engine name, I think we have given a search engine movies. And here, yeah, here I have written a simple search/test one API. And as soon as you're going to hit a slash, it's going to load some .html file, index.html file, where we have a some listing. So I have included app search SDK here in a Python. You can just have it like this. Just add your credential, give your credential, everything like this. I have given API key, config, and everything. And you can make a search, whatever search you want to perform. So let me quickly run this. It's working. So this is a local host, but it's calling the app search API, which I made on a cloud, okay, where I have stored my data. And from there, it's fetching these all details, correct? Now, if I want to perform searching, let's say God. So with a God, I'll get Sachin, oh my God. And the rest of the thing you see, it is just like a some sort of fuzziness, like gold, GOLD, but L is, you can exit the L and there is a God. So it's a fuzziness search included. Now, let's suppose you have some e-commerce website like this, and you want to build something search engine. You can just import and you build, and you can just list all your product like this. And if you want to play with some search tuning, if I want to tune, let's say I have a type God, but I want a strict movie which is matching with God only, not gold or something others. So how I can achieve? Just go here. Um, okay, engine. What happened? Yeah, there's a relevance tuning. So there's a recall and precision. So then the more high number I'm assigning here, that that strict match is going to perform on my panel, correct? So I have given like I have set to the 9 the precision rate. So I'm just going to save here, and again I'm going to search God. I got to Sachin, okay, the god of cricket, like something it's in description. And oh my God, still there is a two movies coming. Somewhere in a description or title there is a god keyword is present. So let's check it out. So this is something your control panel. You can handle your search, your tuning, everything from this center place only. You don't need to worry about what kind of Elasticsearch API you want to perform. You want to boost something or kind of thing. So it will handle here only. So let's see something else. Synonyms. Anyone know synonyms? Synonyms. uh, let me let me clear this first. I think it was on third or second. Perfect. So I'm just restoring the default and say okay. So synonyms is nothing but, suppose, just give the synonyms. Let's say I'm going to search here. Let's say Akshay. Okay, Akshay Kumar, right? Akshay, and I want to tag the all listing. Akshay is doing like action movies, correct? So I want same result when my user is going to type action instead of Akshay. So how you can map it? Let me show you. Or simply take an example. If I take, there's a Kalam. So I am Kalam movie is coming, and there is a Newton movie is also there. And if I typing scientist, nothing is coming. So I want to give the same movie, Newton and Kalam, on the type of scientist. How we can achieve this? Just go and create a synonyms. Okay, nothing complicated. Just scientist and your two keyword which you want to add, Kalam and Newton. Okay, save it. And now I'm going to again search on scientist. Time Kalam and Newton is there, right? Though there is a no term is present. Wow, lots of hand is raising. Okay, just 2 minutes. Let me complete. I'll cover everything, right? Just there's a two option, more option is there. I know it will create more questions. Just 2 minutes. Okay. So yeah, it's a synonyms. And let's say you have a e-commerce, correct? And or you have a book my show, and there is a movie is going to release KGF 3 kind of thing, KGF 2, KGF 3, and you want to do something like this. So let's say I have a God. Again, I'm taking this, and on God, I want rank this oh my God on a first listing, right? Because it's released now, and I want people to give suggestion on the first position. So how I can do this? Go to the curation. In a curation, create a curation. So here you have to type exact same which your user going to search. So I have searched God, and I want, if someone is searching for God, I want oh my God movie on a first listing. So I'm just here typing a God and doing the continue. On the continue, if you say the Sachin is the first position, and the oh my God is the second position, and there is a lots of movies coming. So I'll just going to do star here. Okay, so its position will be coming on first, and yep, so it's done. So again, if your user going to search with the God, oh my God, it's coming on first position. So this is how, if you have a e-commerce and something iPhone 13 or 14 whatever is launching, and you can just play with the listing. Yes sir.
So this is the example you gave, like on scientist to movie specifically.
Correct.
So it's kind of a categorizing, right?
Yes,
Do we need to do that manually, or we can give some JSON or such
You
kind of
can-
data which already have this?
yes, you can, you just add a field, something tag or anything, and you tag them. Like I have a one field genre where action drama, it's already there. So if you type action also, it will going to show you action list as well.
No, I'm saying that the mapping you did is manually. So for that, if I have a JSON file which already have categorized these things, so can I map it directly?
But,
Can I give that JSON file as input and it will take it?
No, the because the synonyms is nothing like you have to create lots of synonyms, correct? Synonyms is something you have to create a limited, right? But the thing you are asking, if I have a movie list, there is a category, whether it's a drama, action, or this, I would suggest add field something like a genre or tag, whether you specify action drama in the JSON document only, and insert same as it is. It is going to search on that. So a synonym is something you have some exceptional case you want to search like this. So I'll tell you, like in Google search, Google AdWords. So some people have set their ads on a competitor name. So if you're going to search Swiggy, and Zomato want to put something, so he's going to tell you someone is typing Swiggy, just show my result on the first position. So this is a kind of synonyms use case. Okay, and this is how you can do like this, right? Yes, sir.
So we did relevance, decided the relevance for one thing. Okay. So there would be so many cases.
Correct.
Now we cannot pragmatically do this relevance mapping for everything.
Relevance mapping which?
So when we did curation,
Yeah.
we decided that oh my God, in case of a query is this picture should come first.
Correct.
Okay, but we cannot do that for all the queries because even we don't know how
Perfect,
the
perfect,
user-
right.
Then in that case,
So that's why in that case I given the specific use case. The synonym you should use in a specific use case, exceptional use case only. The thing you are talking about, the boosting, okay, the how your user is going to search. Suppose iPhone is launching tomorrow, everyone is going to search about the iPhone, right? So just a minute. So iPhone is, you are raising, okay. So iPhone, so yeah, so in that specific thing, if you want to compete, if you want to replace that particular string with the some other, uh, simply put Samsung. If someone types Samsung, still it should be show iPhone on that. In that case, you can use this. But the thing you are talking, you can just go to the curation. There is a different settings as well. I'm going to explain, but so you can just do curation. Just a minute. Settings, in settings you just enable these two features. So what this two feature will do, uh, it will going to monitor the behavior, how your user going to search, in which specific keyword, in like if they are searching iPhone, do they really going to select the iPhone, or they are going jumping on a Samsung or something. And with all behavior is going to purify your search, your ranking is everything. So the which you want, you don't know, right? You don't know what your user is going to put the keywords. In that case, this will help. So you can just enable these two option, and you will get your result.
okay, one use case. For example, there are two documents. Now both of these documents contain my answer. If I ask what is the pH value of some chemical,
Right.
even the promotional document has it, and
Right.
the technical document has
Yes.
it. But we know that technical document, if these results come at the top, it would be more better rather than the promotional document.
Correct.
Because they, everything in the promotional documents is actually derived from this specific document.
Right.
So in that case, that is the place where I would like to say that whenever a query is asked, if you get the results, answers from the technical document, get the technical document results at the top rather than the promotional ones.
Okay. Yes. So in basically apps which is using Elasticsearch. So in Elasticsearch, how it works, there is a concept boosting. So if you have a technical, that particular document coming on second position, you can boost that particular document, add the some booster, and it will come on first position. Similarly, or you can do with the all result. You don't need to go manually do record by record. It's in query itself, search query itself. You can do. In app search, it's there is a support for boosting. It's providing. You can just explore more on a curation, and you will get your result. Okay, just let me check if anything else. Curation, I think, yeah, I think rest of the thing I have already. This is a result setting, which field should be show, which should be not. You can just enable disable from here. So this is something you can see. This is your search engine control panel. You can control your searches from here. So this is the idea. And yeah, so this is something which I want to show, how you can build some search engine. So I'll quickly move. And why leading organization choose Elastic, I think I've given you the enough reason why they are using. There is a enough use case. Just a minute, I'm going to wrap up, and then we can start Q&A, right? And yeah, we have a wonderful community support. There is a very well documentation available. Community is writing, generating content around the Elastic massively. You can, if you have something, first I would recommend go and Google. You will find ton of document written. And then there is a community.elastic.co is present, forum is there. You can just go through it. So this is a group, Gujarat Meetup, which we used to post an announcement related to Gujarat Meetup only. So if you're willing to attend more Meetup in the future, please subscribe this group. This is a Meetup one, okay? And yeah, if you want to get connect with the Slack community, if you are on Slack, just join this ela.st/slack, and there is a specific channel India. You can just join there. And thank you. So I'm open for question.
Elasticsearch has the capability to
Yes, there is a special type of data types available in Elasticsearch. Geo point, geo shapes. There is geo, 4 or 5 data types are available into geo. You can use those. You can store latitude, longitude. If you want to make a query on space, specifically region, the shape in the India region, or basis on the latitude and longitude range, you can do it. So it gives a massive support of geo.
Yes, I just want to restrict channel users from searching anything.
Yes, you can do it, right? But not in app search. Elasticsearch you have to check it out. So app search is using Elasticsearch only. App search is only for those who don't want to get more involved in Elasticsearch, but it uses behind Elasticsearch only their API. So you want to build more custom search engine, Elasticsearch is your best.
Is there any other use case where rather than search for Elasticsearch?
Of course, like people are using for logging purpose. If you have a distributed system where you are generating lots of logs and you want to monitor it, all logs, so people are using for those. People are using for observability. You want to monitor something, your infra, your web server, your script, your system matrix module, anything. There is a they're using for Elastic, and if you want security, like you want to detect from malware, ransomware like this, they're also using Elastic. So people are using Elasticsearch. This is the very three broader use case I have told you, but people are using, like if you want to create some search as you type experience, right? You get a Google. You want to create something search by like Google. You can create with Elasticsearch. There is a special data type search as you type. This is a data type itself, like an integer, long. We have a data type search as you type. You just assign to the particular field, and it will start giving you the result like search as you type. Kind of thing. So, yeah, whatever you well, almost we have covered the all use case which using by industry. So, yes.
Give us keys about security, how Elasticsearch is used.
So Elasticsearch gives a one agent, Elastic agent. There's Elastic agent you have to install on your particular system. Like you have an office company and there is a 20-30 systems are there. You want to monitor each and everything. So you have to install Elastic agent on that particular host or 20 host, and they will search all emails and everything on Elasticsearch, and it will detect malware, ransomware. There is a machine learning model as well. They can check anomaly detection and everything.
Does it support
Okay. Yes, there is a model. Even you can learn, you can spin your Elasticsearch, all Elasticsearch on a Kubernetes. There is a concept ECK, Elastic Cloud on Kubernetes, which is very good. Docker support are there. You can learn Elasticsearch on Kubernetes. Okay, yeah. What is it? Just a minute. I think it's 12. Okay, just 5 minutes more, and we have a 2 more session like that. Yeah.
what is benefit of Elasticsearch over this Solar?
Nice. So Solar is our competitor, to be honest. Solar, there is a few features are missing. If you compare, they also providing the full text and everything. But we have built some elastic solutions as well. Like I have told you, app search, enterprise search, observability, where Solar in not there in that particular field. So you want extra other feature, of course, there. Comparatively, Elasticsearch has a good support, good community support, very good thing. So yeah, that is. But you can more find on internet. There is a very good blogs available. They
Both are working under the Lucy.
Yes, both are built on a Lucy. But Elasticsearch are giving some good features. Uh, I cannot recall right now, but yeah, you can find out more on the documentation.
Give a example or any kind of suggestions like how we can use this for that DevOps thing to monitor multiple systems. For example, my system is connected with almost 16 downstream systems. So whatever request comes to my system, it can go through all 16 steps. So can I build a monitoring around that?
So
that
what
if
stack
XYZ system is down,
Yes,
16 two
yes.
are down, how can
Yes.
I track that?
So what exact down means what you want to monitor? Let's say your API is down. Which kind of service is down?
APIs.
So
Those are microservices.
Okay, those are microservices monitoring. You can build if you want to monitor that endpoint. People are using uptime and these things. There is a call APM, application performance monitoring. If you have written the API, let's say you are writing in PHP, Java, or whatever language you want, there is an APM module is available for it. Just you want to include, and it's suppose you can say you can replace APM with your logs. So APM is going to collect each and every event in your scripts only, and it's not going to hamper your performance because it's a async. Okay, so it's going to collect. So you can track each event, like one event A is came, how much time it takes on this server, in which particular script has taken this particular time, in that which query has taken that particular time. So probably I will cover in next meetup with the APM. I'll try to give some demo how you can achieve this. But yeah, APM is something which you are finding. And if you want to monitor just metrics, RAM, this and everything.
So by metrics, can you elaborate on?
So metric is different. So you should use metric beat for this. So you have to install Elasticsearch, Kibana, and metric beat where on that particular host where you want to monitor, and give the all metric beat the Elasticsearch endpoint. They will start pushing the metrics on the Elasticsearch, and you can just see the dashboard on the Kibana. So already YouTube tutorial and these available. It's easy, nothing complex. You can
ask for a question.
Yeah.
So you said APM can replace the logs.
APM can replace logs, yes.
So right now I'm already doing logging, and so do I need to change my logs? In
Logging as
way,
in-
or my existing logs will be taken back?
When I say logging, so there is a two use case of Elastic where people keep writing logging, and they simply read that particular log file and push to Elasticsearch. So this is something centralized log management. This is a use case. In your case, if you want to analyze or something is down, something is taking time, the event taken 10 seconds. From that 5 seconds is taken by that particular query. If you want to drill down this, you can use APM with that. Okay, then we have two more sessions, and after that we have a lunch and networking session as well. So you can network, you can ask your question at that time. So yeah, I would like to call Nitesh for a next session. Give him a big hand and thank you from my side. And if you have something, let's catch up after this session. Thank you.
बार आनंद के साथ खोलना
हाँ, आप एक बार उस पे कर लो.
ये मेरा चालू है अभी स्क्रीन शेयर कर दो इसमें ठीक है
ब्रेक देना है किसको
ब्रेक लेना. हाँ, चलेगा.
एक सवा घंटा हो गया तो 5 मिनट ब्रेक दे दो बाद में और हो जाए
चलेगा. तो अभी ब्रेक दे देते हैं.
Yep. Good. Okay. So without further delay, let's start. I'll be showing how we can deploy highly available Elasticsearch cluster using Kubernetes on Azure. So initially we thought of deploying it on AWS, but I thought it would be too common. So let's go with Azure. And since we are using Kubernetes, it doesn't matter if we use Azure or GCP or anything, any other provider. So these will be the topics: why Kubernetes and why do we need HA. Then I'll explain the basic terminologies. I think some of you would already be familiar with, but still I'll explain. Then I'll explain the design for resiliency, how we'll build the resiliency, then different clustering options, and then we'll have hands-on. We'll deploy the Elasticsearch cluster using Terraform on Azure. Okay, how many of you are from DevOps? 1, good. 2, 3. Okay. How many of you know Kubernetes? Okay, good, great. How many of you know Docker? Okay, that's even better. Great. So why Kubernetes? The best thing I can bet for that's because Kubernetes itself is distributed, and Elasticsearch architecture it's also distributed. So it's they go hand in hand. So it's easy to deploy, manage, and scale and everything, right? And if you are using microservice architecture, the cluster will be residing inside the cluster, the main Kubernetes cluster. So there'll be low latency, right? There will be more security because the cluster won't be exposing to the internet. There will be just inter-service communication. So from that point of view, also it will be better. Second thing, if you have microservice architecture, you already have implemented some monitoring and logging system that will be centralized, and you can leverage the same for the Elasticsearch. You do not need to do a different setup for this one. And why HA? I think this is understandable, right? I do not need to explain. We just need to maintain the business continuity for critical applications. Also, we need HA, and of course for the better service. So just basics. Let me show the difference. Okay. So I'll just explain the basic components, basic units of Elasticsearch. So there is the basic. I'll start with some document that's just a simple JSON, right? Whatever data that you'll be storing. So that will create one document, and that the collection of documents will create an index. So this is an Elasticsearch index. So when I say document, it's not a PDF or doc file or something. It's just text, whatever data that you are storing. An index that's further divided in shards. And these shards are stored on multiple nodes. These are the data nodes. And the shards can have one or more replicas just for the fault tolerance. So if something happens, let's say there is a hardware failure or network failure and node goes down where the primary shard was residing, the secondary shard can take place as a primary shard and we can keep functioning. So yeah, the documents, then there is one index, then it goes to shards, then shards are stored in nodes. And each shard contains some information related to data structure and everything. So it stores the data in memory. That's not the hard drive, but that's the random access memory, the RAM. So you need to make sure that the number of shards you are creating that's proportional to the heap size, the RAM that you are allocating to the node. In earlier version, I think it was the recommended size was 20 shards per 1 GB of heap size. But in the latest version, it's drastically reduced. in 8.3.0 onwards. Okay, and what is needed for resiliency? So for resiliency, what Elasticsearch needs is at least one elected masternode, at least one copy of the shard, so at least one copy of the data that we have stored, then at least one node for each role. So there are multiple roles in Elasticsearch cluster that can be master role or data role or coordinating only role or ingestion. So there are different types of nodes in Elasticsearch. But basically, I think in most of the cases we are using master node, data node, and coordinating only node when we have requirement of load balancer or something. And there are also ingest nodes which can be used for pre-processing the data before inserting in the data node. And the data nodes, so master node, it's a brain, so it takes care of the whole cluster. It takes care of the topology, like how many data nodes are there, how many coordinating nodes are there, how many ingestion nodes are there, and which shards are residing on which data nodes. So that's being taken care by the master node. And data nodes are used to store the data. So these nodes are mainly used for CRUD operations. So whatever indices that you create or delete that happens on the data node. So these nodes are generally CPU, I/O, and memory intensive. And coordinating nodes, they just work as a load balancer to route the request. Coordinating nodes, they know which data is stored in which node by the help of the master node. Right. And so this is how we can build the resiliency. We need at least this information, this data, right? And how we will build the resiliency. So for that, we'll need at least 3 master eligible nodes. Not 3 master nodes, but 3 master eligible nodes. So there is only one master node in the Elasticsearch cluster. There cannot be 3 master nodes. So we'll add 2 more master eligible nodes, which can become a master node if the main master node goes down. So the master nodes do not work the same as the data nodes, because in the same data nodes they might have the same set of responsibility of storing the data and the CRUD operation and everything. But in case of master node, it's not the same. And we'll need at least 2 nodes of each role. So if anything goes wrong with one node, we'll have another node for the resiliency. Then we'll have at least 2 copies of each shard, one primary and one secondary. Okay, and these are the clustering options that we can do in Elasticsearch. One is single node cluster. So in Elasticsearch, one node can have multiple roles. So the one node can be master node and data node and coordinating node and ingest node. It can do everything that we can do, right? So if we'll deploy Elasticsearch with just one node cluster, the only thing that can save us in disaster, that's the snapshots, the backup. We don't have any other option. So in this case, this is not at all highly available. This we can use in development or QA environments, but not recommended for production environments. Then there is 2 node cluster. This is theoretically not possible to design a 2 node cluster with 2 master nodes in Elasticsearch, because if anything goes wrong with the master node, then we'll need election process in Elasticsearch, and we need a majority. The majority will decide that which node will become the master node. So if there are 2 nodes and one goes down, there will be just one node left. So you don't have the majority, right? So let's say there are 2 nodes running, master eligible nodes, and this node hasn't gone down. There was just network connectivity between them. So both the nodes were running fine. So what will happen? This node will think that this has gone down because there was network connectivity issue. And this will also think that this has gone down. So both will become master nodes. Now what will happen? Both the nodes will diverge. So there will be different set of data on both the nodes. So theoretically, it's not possible to design the cluster with two master nodes. In this case, it will fail in production. But if you design, two-node cluster for whatever reasons, just to save some cost or something, just make sure there is only one master node, and there are two data nodes, and you keep at least one replica of each shard. Then another option is two-node cluster with tiebreaker. This is a good option when you want to save infrastructure cost. So what will happen in this case? There will be two Elasticsearch nodes, and there will be one more node which will just take part in the election in case of master node goes down. So it will have only responsibility of the election. It won't take care of the, taking care of the topology or sharding or anything. So in this case, we can assign very low resources like some 200 MB of memory and less CPU, and this will work. So this is good when you do not have high load on the cluster. But in this case also, the two other nodes, they'll be sharing the different roles. The master role, the data role, the coordinating only role, or any other roles. So that's the one node will not have a dedicated responsibility, right? It's like if I'm a full stack developer, during the day I cannot work continually on multiple things like JavaScript and Node.js, and I can work on a thing, but at a time I can work on just one thing. So in that case, I'll have better output. Then three-node cluster. This is a good option because if you have high load, you need to store a lot of data, and you need to increase number of nodes, then you can use this cluster. But again, in this case, there will be shared role. In each node, it will be having all the roles. And another option is more than three nodes. So in this case, what we'll do is we'll assign dedicated node for each role. So let's say if I have three master nodes, there'll be three nodes. I have three data roles, then I'll have three data nodes. Then if I have any other roles, there'll be just dedicated node for each responsibility. And in this case also, just make sure do not add more than, it's recommended not to add more than three master eligible nodes, because it doesn't work like load balancing or something in case of master nodes. But because if you add more than three nodes during the election process, it might take some time because it will take input of all the nodes, and then the election will take place, and based on the majority, the election will happen. So it's better to keep three nodes in different data centers, not in the same data center. And same goes for coordinating only nodes. I think it's better to keep two or three only. More than that, coordinating nodes only, nodes also take part, they do not take part, but they are informed of the election of the master node, because they constantly communicate with the master node for the sharding related data. So this is the kind of cluster that we are going to deploy today on Kubernetes. We'll have three node pools, master node pool, coordinating only node pool, then data node pool. And we'll have three master nodes, three data nodes. This can be any number of data nodes. It doesn't affect. So basically, data nodes, usage of number of data nodes depends on the data and the operations that you are doing, right? There are many other things. And coordinating only nodes we'll be using for routing the request. So we won't be directly hitting the master nodes or data nodes for any kind of operations. And this is the kind of architecture that would look like in the Kubernetes. what I've done is I created Terraform scripts, and using which I'll create the Kubernetes service, Azure Kubernetes service, and inside the Kubernetes service, we'll create multiple node pools in different data centers in different availability zones. And in each data center, we'll be deploying, at least one replica of some nodes. And we'll be using persistent storage. That's for Azure files. Then I have deployed Kibana just to visualize the data that we are storing in the Elasticsearch, just for sake of this demo. Then I've installed Prometheus just to monitor the metrics if something goes wrong. And the source code that's hosted on GitHub. Let's start with hands-on. Any questions till now? Okay. I've written the instructions over here on the GitHub README how to deploy this cluster. So I'll just simply follow it. I'll clone the repo first. Yep. Okay. It's cloned. Now I'll follow the steps. No, it's core cluster. I'll define the secrets to create the cluster. Then I'll initialize the module. How many of you are familiar with Terraform? Okay. So it's just, infra as a pod. So you can define your infrastructure as a pod. You can just write the code and you can deploy the component and you can manage it. It's just like Ansible and Puppet if somebody is using it. Okay, Terraform has been initialized. Now I'll directly apply. I won't plan because it will take some time. So by the time it applies, it might take 10 to 15 minutes to bring up the whole thing. I'll go through the code and explain you a few things. So here I have created a modular structure. So for AKS and node pools, I have created different modules. So this is a scalable code. If you want to add more clusters or node pools, you just need to pass the parameters and you can use it. And I used hand charts. So that's just a package manager. Oh, sorry. Just a minute, I'll apply this. Now if I can zoom this. Let's try this one. Okay. So these are the basic Terraform modules that I've loaded, right? And this is my main file where I'll be creating a storage account and AKS cluster. So this is all dynamic. You can pass the variables and change the values if needed. And I have created 3 node pools One is for master, another is for data nodes, and one more for coordinating only nodes. And these all three data node pools, Kubernetes node pools, are created in different data centers. So I specified that these node pool need to be created in 1, 2, and 3 availability zones. So and minimum count is 3. So by default, it will deploy 3 nodes, 3 virtual machines. And I've enabled auto scaling. And in Kubernetes, there is concept of adding node taints and selectors. So if you want to schedule any container in particular node, and you want to design architecture in such a way that two containers should not deploy on the same node, or some containers need to be reside on particular availability zone, or anything, or even if you want to deploy multiple containers in the same node for the low latency or whatever operations that you are doing on the some node, so that you can do it using these things, the taints and selector. So for each node pool, I have defined the labels and taints so that we can schedule the containers in different node pools. Then I have created a load balancer. So this load balancer will point to the coordinating only node, and that will be routing the traffic. And this is the Elasticsearch. So I created namespace in Kubernetes. Then there is a Helm release. So for Elasticsearch, I used Bitnami Helm charts. You can create your own Helm chart as well. I think the better option would be that only. Since I did not have much time, I just used Bitnami. They are also stable, so you can also use this one. We are using this in production environments, right? And for Elastic, I defined the configuration over here, the heap size and the storage class, the storage size, the tolerations, the resource requirements, the memory, CPU, etc. Make sure to use the request and the limits for the memory same, just to avoid OMKL issues, the memory pressure issues. And CPU request, this can vary. Just to better utilize the CPU, you can use the burstable performance. Right, same applies for the other two nodes. Let's see, it's still creating. And I also added other configurations, but these are commented because this is in this setup. I haven't taken care of the security, the authentication, authorization, the TLS, and everything. So if you want to enable this, you just need to uncomment and configure this. It's just plug and play. Okay. Then for logging, I've installed Fluentd. You can also use Logstash or something. So this will basically collect the logs from all the nodes and store it in the Elasticsearch. And these are the configurations. And for the monitoring, I installed Prometheus. So these are all Helm charts, and it's kind of package manager for Kubernetes. So you can directly download the package from the internet, or you can also create your own package and use this. By the time cluster gets created, anyone has any questions?
I just have one layman. The data node you're saying that, is there any limitation in terms of how much data we can handle in the data? That is first question. And let's say there is an implementation that there are multiple nodes. When we give a request, how it works?
So you mean to say how many data nodes you can create, something like that, or how much data you can store in a node?
Yeah, how much data we can store in the data node? And is there any limitation?
There isn't limitation, but there are some recommended sizes, and that will depend again on the type of index that you're creating and the sharding strategy. I think Sandeep will explain that. So that concepts will come in the advanced sharding. So in each shard, I think its recommended size is to store 50 or 60 gigabytes of data in each shard. and there are multiple shards on each node. So basically, you can handle TBs of data, but again, you need to fine tune the architecture based on your requirement. So in some cases, only you can scale up to only 30 GB of disk space only, because in that case you'll be deploying more indices on the cluster. Let's say in a single node, there are hundred of indices that you are creating on the Elasticsearch cluster. Then each index will have multiple shards, and each shard will consume reserve some heap size, the RAM. So in that case, you will have some limitations of assigning the RAM.
Question. Please elaborate.
Yeah.
So we, for cases where, okay, if we're running a Elasticsearch cluster that's serving globally, is it like configurable that we can set up nodes geographically,
Yes.
and we can also optimize in terms of, okay, we have more in Southeast Asia, we have fewer in Europe.
So this cluster, this will create in single region but different data centers. But it's not recommended to deploy cluster in multiple regions. The problem will become is the latency, because all these nodes will constantly communicating with each other.
Right. So then you just do multiple clusters.
Yes, right. So there'll be one hot cluster. Let's say I'll create this cluster in India, and there'll be another cluster in Europe. So they'll just work as a hot cluster. So all the data will be getting replicated in the background in this Europe cluster, but you won't be using this cluster actively. But if something happens in India, this cluster is down, you can immediately start using this cluster in Europe. So this is how you can design.
I have one question to data. Adding to this, for example, let's say there is a simple, let's say there is a question A, as an example, or there is a text A, for example, and users, so we have the data available in India, and then we have the data available in, let's say, Europe region. And so, let's say we want to have this question, as an example, or we want this data in multiple data nodes, as an example, globally. And when user query, it will query according its redirection would be at, for example, if I'm querying from India, it will go to India, or it will like globally it will go.
So if your cluster is distributed across the globe, it will request all the data nodes wherever the data is residing. Let's say there are 5 data nodes, 2 are in India, 3 are in Europe region, right? And if I request, I perform some query, and the data is stored on some node in Europe region, then it will go the round trip over there. But if the data is only in the India node, in that case, the coordinating only node would be knowing that the data is residing in this node. So it will.
So if you want to build an architecture, there's a global node, and then there is a certain region-wise node. So for example, some query will go to global node itself. That way it can be done.
So there isn't anything like global nodes. The thing is, if you select a global node, it needs to be deployed somewhere, right?
Okay.
So if I'll deploy it in India, then again it will become problem for people from Europe. So there'll be latency problem. But in these cases, you can keep one standby cluster, for that you can use.
Elaborate on the selection process. If one master goes down, then the selection cluster itself, how
Okay. Are you familiar with split brain situation?
Yes.
So the same applies here. So in this, if one node goes down and there are 2 nodes, there will be split brain, right? So let me explain again. There are 2 nodes, right? One is in data center 1, second master node is in data center 2. So this is master node. This is master eligible node. This is not the master node. Now there is a network disruption, right? So this node will understand that it is not able to communicate with the node in the data center 1. So it will assume that this has gone down. So it will automatically become master. this hasn't gone down in the data center one, but there was network connectivity issue between these two nodes. Both the nodes were running fine. There was no issue in that particular node, right? So now what will happen? This, let's say there was some index where you were writing some data. So it is possible that both the indexes might have some different set of data, right? So both the nodes will diverge. So it is not possible to merge, and again when the network restores, it is not possible to elect the master node. So because of the same issue, we'll prefer 3 or more than 3 master nodes.
As of now, we have defined that we have 3 master eligible, but just as of right now, there will be only 1 master. So that those 2 master eligible nodes will do something or act as a data node.
They'll do nothing, but they'll be in sync with the master node, so they'll be aware of the whole topology. The command, let's say there are 3 master nodes. 2 are master eligible. This is master node. So basically, all the operations will be being done by the master node, but these 2 master node will be aware of what's happening over here. So you can think of it as a replica, spanned by replica or something like that. In case this one goes down, this will become the master node, and we can continue the operations. But make sure do not keep even number of master nodes. It's recommended to keep odd number of master nodes just to avoid this situation. I think it's created. Anyone else? So let's view this. Okay, so this is just one GUI tool for you can use this to manage the Kubernetes cluster. Let's go through each node. So these are 2 default nodes. This is where the Kubernetes resources, Kubernetes inbuilt containers reside. The core container or etcd or storage provisioner or something like that. And then there will be 2 coordinating nodes. I won't be able to zoom this, so please bear with this. And there will be 3 data nodes. These are the data nodes, and 3 master nodes. So these are the total number of nodes in my Elasticsearch namespace. I also deployed Kibana, and let's see how it looks in Kibana. Kibana.dsense. So in Terraform, I written that once the cluster is created, there will be one error code that will get created in Cloudflare, and one DNS record will be that it will get added. So this is all automated. Explore on my own. I've just integrated Kibana just to check if the cluster is up and running and how we can get the data from there. Discover, create one index pattern. So this is logs from Fluentd. Okay. Let's do analysis. This is just a basic demo. Don't use this. You can customize this, but I'll just use a built-in tools provided by Kibana. Let's say I want to use container name. So the data that you see on the screen, these are coming from the Elasticsearch cluster. So for now, I have just dumped all the container logs, all the Kubernetes container logs in Elasticsearch, and that we can visualize over here. So this is just to show the, deployment only. You can create different charts and different rules based on the logs, and you can do a lot of things using Kibana. Okay. So, yep, that's all. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Normally, in terms of database, you prefer that the head of the actual data directory is one node. So, like, what are the right options to load in that? Is there in the file that particular where the actual data is stored?
Yes, yes. So that I have added in the hand chart in the values file. For now, I have kept commented because I did not want to extend the session, but there is a feature of snapshots, and you can mount the volume at particular path in the container, and that's where Elasticsearch will create backups and will store over there. So you can have the data backup in some possible. Anyone else?
It's like when we are discussing about these different data nodes, and there is one concept for the horizontal scaling also. When data is distributed between different nodes, so like in case if we need to increase capacity and we are doing a scaling, we are adding a new servers.
Yes.
So like how data would be distributed? It would be multiple copies, or it would be the data would be divided.
No, it will be distributed automatically by Elasticsearch itself. So, but there is some logic of, I think, some hash function or something based on that it will create shards and everything. So the performance won't get impacted, but it will redistribute the shards to different nodes.
Okay, then in case of failure, how it will be?
It will again redistribute the shards. So let's say there are 3 nodes, right? Let's do the scaling. So these are 3 data nodes. Currently, there are only 3 data nodes, right? I'll do it manually, not using Terraform because it might take some time. So I've scaled it. This one has gone in pending. So it will create a new node and it will deploy a container over there. It will create one persistent volume. Everything will be taken care by Kubernetes. After once it is up, what we'll do is, let's say there are 100 shards in 3 data nodes, and 4th data node came up. So the Elasticsearch will distribute the data nodes 25 in each. So redistribute it. So HA is not just part of DevOps. So when you take care of the development, you also need to mention that how many replicas you need to keep. So if there are no replicas over here, there will be definitely a failure because.
Okay, so we need too many replicas.
Yes, right.
And shares, when you speak like how it is managed, we need to define, or it manages automatically.
What?
Shards. The document.
Shards. So by default, I think in the latest version, create just 1 shard, right?
Yes.
And in previous version, it used to create 5 shards.
You need to define the shard. Okay, default it's create a 1 shard, and you also need to define the replica. Okay, so what happened is, why replica is important, because it's actually give you HA. So you have a 2 server, and there is a 2 index 1 and index 2. So index 1 of primary shard will be stored on server 1, but the replica shard of index 1 will be stored on server 2. So in case of server 2 gone, there will be replica data is available, and in case of server 1 goes down, so server 2 will be there. So that's how the HA works in. So you have to define the replica. You have to check what exact number you can give for a replica. So some people do 2, 3, 4 according to your use case, right? And similarly, you have to define the shards number as well. So there is a concept. You can just go on a doc. How to decide the shard number, how to decide the replica, you will get it.
One node just came up, right? You can also configure auto scaling in this. So these are just advanced concepts where CPU based or memory based, or if you want to do some advanced scaling based on the custom metrics, that also you can do using Prometheus or something. Maybe I'm not sure if Kibana in
Yes,
Kibana also
you can integrate.
Okay, great. So based on that, you can do auto scaling also in Kubernetes. In this M chart, I have added configurations of auto scaling, but that's just CPU and memory based. There is no custom metric scaling. And you can use the Kibana observability for the logs and metrics and everything, which I think the same we do in Prometheus using Prometheus, the same we can achieve over here also. But since security is not enabled, I don't think I'll be able to do this. No, let's say. No, this need to be enabled. So currently this is without authentication, so it won't allow me. But the node is running now. You will see it will be healthy in a few seconds. So now we have 4 data nodes, 3 master nodes, and 2 coordinating nodes. And if I'll check the, let's say, I'll check the topology of this node, the data node. It's in zone Central India 2. The other one, it will be having something else that's Central India 3. If I'll check this one, it will be in a different data center that's Central India 1. So all the data nodes are distributed across multiple data centers. I think this need to be refreshed because yes, fourth data node is up and running now. This one. Just in a few minutes, you can add data nodes. So, anyone else? Any questions? Yeah.
So in our configuration, when let's assume that there is one index. Okay, now it has been divided into shards. Shards will be distributed across these 4 data sets.
Yes.
Now when a query comes in, every time it will at least go to all these 4 data sets, correct? Because the whatever.
No, not necessarily. So that the coordinating only nodes will be knowing that the data resides on which shard, so it will directly hit that shard only.
So for example, in our case, there is only one index. So all these shards that are belonging to this data centers, that would be of one index only.
Yes,
Right.
right.
But now it is not sure in this case that either this is having the main replica, main shard or replica shard. So for example, let's say the index has been divided into 3 shards. Okay, but data centers are 4. Maybe it tries to create one replica of each shard. Now we have six shards to be distributed across these 4
Right.
data centers. And the coordinator node already knows that the 4th one is only having this replica. In this case, it will take this query only to this three nodes.
Yeah, where the shards will be residing. So the queries generally go to the primary shard only. It doesn't go to the replica shard.
And if primary shards are in 3 nodes, it will go to 3 nodes.
Not 3 nodes, just where the data resides in that particular shard. So each shard won't be having copy of your data.
So your shard can be reside in one node, like in one node only at a time. The shard itself is not going to divide.
No, but the index is divided. So
Index
when
is
there
divided.
There are 10 documents.
Perfect.
Let's say 10 documents are divided into shards.
Right.
There is now 3, 3, and 4. Each shard contains 3 documents data, and the third one is having 4 documents data.
Okay.
Okay. These 3 shards
That
are
is yes.
residing into different data centers.
Mhm.
Okay, different nodes. Now there would be a replica of this shard. Correct.
Right.
But it does know that these are the 3 primary shards residing in only these 3 data centers, not in the fourth one. So coordinator nodes takes up this query and sends it to
Yes,
all the
yes.
3 shards.
Right.
in 3 sides.
So it will handle. So a coordinator node know the basis on that particular routing algorithm on the basis of underscore ID where this particular document is residing in which node, and it query that particular node and gets your data. Right.
Okay, then. Thank you, everyone. Now, next, I'll request Sandeep to take on. Just give him a big round of applause. Just stop.
So Sandeep is very active member in a Elastic community. He